Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Make sure to like, subscribe. Today we're gonna be watching 100 boys were murdered and dissolved in acid. I'll put the original video in the description if you want to go check it out yourself. Let's get
Welcome
into
back to
it.
another episode of Mysteries of Asia.
Let me check
Today's
my recording.
story is not for
Alright,
the faint of
recording.
heart, so viewer discretion is advised. We are talking about Javad Iqbal, who confessed to killing 100 boys in Pakistan, many by dissolving their bodies in a vat of acid,
And the
in what
vat
was
of acid
Pakistan's
is
most
crazy.
horrifying murder case. Javad Iqbal Mughal was born on October 8, 1956 in Lahore, Pakistan. He came from a wealthy family and was the sixth child of 8 siblings. His father is Muhammad Ali. Oh shit, the
Wait, what? Nah, Muhammad Ali ain't Pakistani, bro.
Probably not. His father is Muhammad Ali Mughal, a wealthy businessman and trader in Lahore. And despite the privileges of his upbringing, Iqbal's early years were marked by troubling behavior as his father spoiled and rotten him. As a child, he struggled with disciplinary issues, often clashing with authority figures. In his early 20s, Iqbal started his own business.
Legit, bro. It'd be the people who are rich and blessed off the start. They just be doing the craziest things, like legit.
In 1978, when he was an intermediate student at the Islamia College Railway Road. His father bought him 2 villas in Shadbagh. Wow, his father bought him 2 villas, so lucky.
What are villas?
Life of the rich, eh? And Iqbal set up a steel recasting business in one of the houses and lived there for years along with boys. So he was already quite a creep, I guess, in his early 20s, already living with boys in his home that his father.
So he wasn't living with like brothers or relatives. He was just living with random boys at a spot that his dad bought for him. Yeah, this is not even a good start.
Bought him.
And I see this word right here. I hope this does not involve this. But damn.
Other family members learned of his bad habits when they also moved to Shadbagh, but Iqbal would not allow them to interfere in his life or speak against the boys accompanying him. So during this time, his family was already like very suspicious of his weird behavior.
I mean, yeah, I feel like everyone would be suspicious. You're literally just hanging out with young boys. That's already a red flag.
Already a giant red flag. Why is he hanging out with so many young boys? Why? That's so weird. Isn't it? For several years, Iqbal resisted the efforts of his family to arrange his marriage. But one day, he
still
stunned
do that?
everybody by
Oh, this is like
declaring that
old,
he had
like
selected
19s.
a bride for himself. She turned out to be the elder sister of one of his boys. The purpose was to stop the boy from deserting him, according to Javad Iqbal. The marriage, which took place on
In a way, you married someone's sister just because you don't want them to leave your side. That can't be real.
Months, obviously, because it wasn't true love. He was in fact in love with young boys.
He was young with her brother, bro. That's crazy.
A man filed a complaint against Javad Iqbal for sodomizing his son. Shadbagh police detained his father and 2 brothers after their failure to arrest him. They remained in custody for 7 days, but Iqbal did not surrender. So the police, instead of arresting Iqbal, which they probably couldn't find, they arrested his family,
legit young boys,
his father and 2 brothers. But however, on the 8th day, one of his boys was arrested by the police and was detained at the police station. This time, Javad Iqbal immediately ran down to the police station to surrender himself. And this goes to show
he knew he was he knew it was raps once he escaped.
His family. Later, he himself surrendered to secure the release of the boy. Following the death of his father, Iqbal received a hefty share of 3.5 million rupee from the estate.
Oh, it's like, oh, that's...
So with that amount of money, he constructed a
Wait, but that's like before, like inflation. So 161K, and like today, back then, it's probably worth like $1 million today.
In Rana Town,
Maybe.
With a pond in the basement.
Actually, it probably won't be worth $1 million. Probably like
he loved moving
a couple thousand more,
and was often seen driving
100,000
a
more.
5-door Pajero along with half a dozen boys. 5 doors. So cars have 1, 2, 3, 4 doors. Where does the 5th door go? On the roof? On
the basement. It goes to the basement.
Yeah, I'm not really a car person. Adam, my editor, I think you're a car person, right? Can you show a picture of the 5-door Pajero? Now, once he owned 4 vehicles.
Oh, you know, I'm fucking stupid. I thought he was talking about a crib.
And a Suzuki FX, said one of his old friends. Not super expensive cars, I don't think, but still being able to afford like 4 cars back then, and in Pakistan, it is quite a feat already. Javad Iqbal eventually sold his Rana townhouse and shifted to a new residence in Fatehgarh, Ghaziabad, and opened a video games
Yeah, this man
shop.
is
Why did
weird.
he open a video game shop?
He literally
Let's
opened
go
a
ahead
video game shop because he's trying to get lure like kids
know
in
where
there.
this is going. The video game shop.
I already
Everything
know
that
where it's
Javad
going.
Iqbal did was aimed at luring boys, and this includes the video games shop. The video game shop is the first
What
of
is
its
wrong
kind
with
in
this
genre,
man?
and he would offer tokens to boys at reduced rates, and in some cases free of cost. And one of the tricks that he would execute to get close to boys is he would occasionally throw 100 rupee notes on the floor and watch the boy who would pick it up. Then he would announce that his money had been stolen and he had to search everybody. The thief would be caught and
Really, really, bro. So this is the way of getting touchy with people.
taken to an adjacent
Just
room where he would be sexually assaulted. At times, the money would be given back to the boy as a gesture of goodwill. But eventually, when people stopped their children from visiting the shop, Javad Iqbal set up a fish aquarium and later a gym, again to attract boys. He also set up a fully air-conditioned school, but it failed as nobody was willing to send children there, likely because of his already very bad reputation. He also opened a fair price shop where items of daily use were sold at a price lower than the market value.
damn, how much money this man got? Like how much? Damn, you can really do a lot with 161K or 191K. However the amount was, you can really do a lot. He's opening shops, he's opening stores, schools, arcade, like, and even like a gym and an aquarium. Like, damn, you really do a lot with those money back in Pakistan.
Lasted for just a few weeks, going broke. On a fateful night in September
Yeah, he's
1998,
eventually
Iqbal
going
had
broke.
ordered a service of a 15-year-old masseur. Halfway through the session, he molested the teenager, and
Oh
when
my
he was
God.
done, he fell asleep. Desperate for revenge, the traumatized teenager invited his friend in while Javad Iqbal was asleep, and together they beat him up so badly that Javad Iqbal sustained serious head
Yeah, that's a
injuries and
W.
slipped into
That's a
a
W.
coma. Yes! Fuck you, man.
Yeah, fuck
Yes. He remained unconscious at the
you.
Lahore General Hospital for 22 days. That's very nice to hear. I know it's violence, but I mean, come on, Javad Iqbal, he deserved that beating.
Yeah,
As
for real,
nobody
he's
in his
touching
family
boys
was
and
willing to
stuff.
spend money on his mounting hospital bills and treatment. His
He's
Ghaziabad
literally
house
setting up like spawn stations, bro. Legit, that's what he's doing. He's setting up like spawns, bro, to spawn boys in, bro.
car and shops were sold off and the money was used for his treatment. So even his family didn't even bother to pay or help him during his time of need when he was seriously injured in the hospital because he was just such a despicable person. On getting better, he was shocked to find out that almost all his assets had been sold. His life of luxury had been ruined. He eventually moved back with his aging mother who cared for him, but few months after he moved back, his mother suffered a heart attack and passed away. So now Javad Iqbal was left all alone. The beating, the lot... Did Sushi just took a dump on my floor. I think she's just allergic to this bullshit story. Like, she's disgusted at Javad.
Yo, I'm
So
disgusted
at this
too.
point, Javad was at his lowest
Disgusting.
point in life. The beating, the loss of his business and wealth, the loss of his parents caused
Yo,
all
he's
hell
basically the Pakistan version of Diddy. That's Packy Diddy.
to break loose within him. And after weeks of deep thought, he finally found something or someone to blame. He found a target, a purpose, and proceeded to create a plan of revenge during his lowest point in life. And this is what he said. My mother cried for me. I wanted 100 mothers to cry for their children. And now we move
What?
on to the crimes. For 6 months, between June to November 1999, Javad Iqbal committed a series of horrific
How is this man
crimes
not
that
locked
shocked
up in
the
bars?
nation.
Like, how is he
engaged
still
the
roaming
services
free?
of 3 of his most trusted young boys, 17-year-old Sajid Ahmad, 15-year-old Muhammad Nadim, and 13-year-old Muhammad Sabir. Together, they lured young boys. Most of them had families, but some were street children and runaways, aged between 6 to 16, 6 years old. And he
6
lured them
years
to his
old.
home on 16B Ravi Road with the promises of food, shelter, and money. Runaway child with little money, this is a very tempting offer, and you would fall prey to this disgusting man. Once the boys were in his clutches, Iqbal would strangle them with a rope. After murdering them, he dismembered their bodies and disposed of the remains in vats of acid to destroy any evidence. He meticulously documented each murder, keeping detailed records and even taking
Why are you
photographs of his
documenting?
victims
Why?
before
He's asking to get caught. Like obviously don't get it twisted. What he's doing is fucked up, and thank God he got quiet. But he's just making it easier for the detectives.
and after their deaths. He maintained a diary where he logged each murder, describing the method and the disposal of the bodies, down to how much it costs to dispose of the bodies. And here we have a video of all the boys that he interacted with,
They're
that
literally
he
kids.
murdered. They all look very young, some even showing a gleaming smile, like unbeknownst to the horrific fate that was to fall upon them. The confession and arrest. In December 1999, Javad Iqbal sent a letter to the police confessing to the murder of 100 boys. As the details within the letter felt like it was something so unfathomable, the police didn't want to pay too much attention to it. What? But they reluctantly still went to the address from where the letter was mailed, 16B Ravi Road. So even when Javad Iqbal sent a letter confessing to his horrible crimes, the police even didn't take much mind to it. They just brushed it one side. They didn't really think much of it.
Yeah, the
Which
police are
kinda just
terrible.
blows my mind.
They don't even
Why
do
did he
anything.
even confess to the crime?
Because this is his purpose. He wanted 100 mothers to cry.
Public records of what happened at the house that
Bro,
day
police in
revealed just
Pakistan
how
are
unprepared
terrible
the
at this
police were
time.
in dealing
Well,
with the
hopefully they
master
got better.
manipulator. Iqbal was home, but as police questioned him about the letter, he began to behave erratically. At one point, he took out his gun and threatened to shoot himself if he wasn't left alone. Police didn't take him into custody. They didn't even bother to go
Yo,
inside
police
the
are
house
terrible.
to check. If they had bothered to, they would have found the mounting evidence within, but they left and let Iqbal keep his license gun. It's very hard for me to fathom this. I guess because we live in Singapore, and if this were to happen, it's like confirm kena already.
Parents probably tried to go to the police, but then everything was just kind of swept under the rug. Or like some of these boys, they are orphans. Yeah, nobody cares about these kids. Within 6 months, 100 young boys missing and nobody, tried to do anything about it.
Iqbal, now frustrated that the police weren't taking him seriously, he mailed the same letter along with pictures of
So that's his main point, is to get like attention from the cops. Like he wants them to take him seriously. That's like terrible. Like legit, these kids don't have a life, and you're just taking them from them. You're stripping them life out of them. That's
dozens of boys
terrible.
to the office of Jang, Pakistan's most popular Urdu language newspaper, which just goes to show that he really just
Could have been
wanted
all
attention,
preventive
he
to
wanted
police
be known.
actually
The
care.
heavy envelope landed on the desk of Jamal Christie, editor of the newspaper's crime section. After going through the contents of the envelope, I thought there could be two possibilities. Either someone was trying to frame him, or this man has really done it, Christie said in an interview. In the letter, Iqbal shared the names and addresses of the boys he murdered, and even described minute details, such as the shapes of their faces and the type of sandals they were wearing, and what body parts aroused him the most. He disclosed how much
Oh my god. Whoa. Okay, buddy. This
it cost him to buy the
I'm not
acid,
gonna
how
say
long
anything.
it took for a body to dissolve, and who helped him. If the story is true, it will be huge for the newspaper, and it was important for the newspaper to check the house where Iqbal claimed he had left evidence. Christie and a
So he just turned
colleague
himself
found
in.
16
That's how he
B
got
Ravi
caught.
Road on a dead-end street. The house was abandoned and padlocked. No one was there. However, the journalist and the colleague decided to scale the wall, and inside, they found blue-colored plastic canisters and bundles of clothes and shoes, just as Iqbal had described in his letter. A strange stench hung in the air. They removed the cover of one of the canisters and were hit by a pungent whiff. Inside, the canisters were what appeared to be half-decomposed human remains suspended in liquid that smelled like formaldehyde, a chemical used to preserve bodies. The newspaper contacted families of some of the missing boys whose addresses Iqbal had meticulously recorded in his diary and shared in his letter. When
This
it was
is
confirmed that the
evil,
boys were
bro.
actually missing, the journalists decided that they had enough evidence to write a story. The next day, December 3rd, Jang printed the story on its front page under the headline, "Claim of Murder of 100 Kids." The newspaper published the names of the victims along with pictures of 57 of the slain boys, many of them wearing cheeky smiles. All hell broke loose as soon as the issue hit the stands. Police confiscated 2 large blue drums and more than a dozen plastic cans from Iqbal's home that contained a mix of hydrochloric and sulfuric acids. Inside one of the blue drums, investigators found a human torso. In the other, 2 feet amputated at the ankles and a chopped up
Yeah.
girdle were discovered. And after almost a month long of manhunt, Iqbal eventually surrendered himself to the office of Jang newspaper, and not the police station.
Well, like, yo, these cops need to get fired. They don't even they do everything but work. Like they do everything but do their jobs in
He
Pakistan.
was afraid that if he went straight to the police, they would just kill him on the spot. So he felt that it was safer to go to the newspaper office.
What is the
When
newspaper
the
officer
police
gonna
came,
do?
they even control the crowd also because there were so many parents and people.
Yeah, but it's so funny that it took him sending his letter to the newspaper outlet for the police
That's actually crazy because if he didn't do that, this would have been under the rug. This would have been like an unsolved mystery.
to come down hard on him. You know, when he went to the police first, the police didn't care. Here you can see a picture of a mother, you know, her sons have been taken by Javad Iqbal, and clearly she's very distraught even, and I'm guessing this is the husband. This is a picture of them outside the newspaper office. He walked up to the newspaper's reception desk in worn-out slippers with days-old beard and in clothes smeared with dust. And he said, "I'm Javad Iqbal, the killer of 100 children." He spoke to journalists for an hour, detailing how he had committed the murders and disposed of the bodies before he was handed over to the police. The interview was recorded and would later be used as evidence in court against him. The trial and sentencing. Iqbal's trial began in 2000, and it was one of the most high-profile cases in Pakistan's legal history. During the proceedings, Iqbal at one point even denied all charges against him and said that he was innocent despite the mounting evidence
Nah,
of his confession.
it's too late for that, bro. You got 4K. You literally they have 8K on you, bro. They even have 12K.
Previously. So very quite erratic behavior. At first he wants to get caught, he sent the letters and everything detailing accounts of his murder. When he actually got caught, he said, "No, actually I didn't commit the murders." His lawyers claimed he had staged the killings just to highlight the issue of runaway children. And a small number of people even took Javad Iqbal's side. And this is
Yo, these people are stupid. These people are stupid.
because it actually was a serious problem in Pakistan back then. Runaway kids and cases like these were indeed just swept under the rug. After pleading not guilty, Iqbal became a nuisance in court, as he knew fully well that this was a high-profile case and the police wouldn't dare to trash him like other criminals. He showed no signs of remorse and teased
He
the
looks
judge
stupid.
with silly errands like requesting for a hot meal and warm sweater in the middle of the trial session. The court eventually found him guilty on multiple counts of murder and sentenced him to death. The judge ruled that Iqbal and
No, but you know what you need to do? You need to make him suffer for his crime. I feel like death is too easy. You need to actually make this man suffer for a year at least, and then you can, you know.
Sajid, his helper,
But
were to be
but you
hanged
gotta like
at
make that man
Nari,
suffer, bro.
Pakistan, and that their
Especially
bodies
for all
were
the
to be
pain he
cut
caused.
up into 100 pieces and dissolved in acid in front of the families and victims. Wow. His death. Iqbal and Sajid, his helper, were sent to the maximum security Kot Lakpat jail. And while he was awaiting execution a year after their conviction, Iqbal and one of his helpers, Sabir, committed a double suicide in their prison cells. No. No justice. They used their shirts as ropes to hang themselves, according to the police. Iqbal's lawyer and family suspected that police killed them because Iqbal had wanted to name some senior government officials who had attended his parties and abused children. I see. So that's a theory lah. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, something fishy is going on there lah. You know, there probably is connections to like authoritarian figures or like people
Definitely are, because these people weren't even doing anything. Like the cops were like, for the cops to not even care, especially if you turn yourself in, it has to be like some authority outside of that, some higher up that's
there,
like controlling the
perhaps
scenes,
that's why he's so
behind the
confident
scenes.
because
They're
he has the
controlling.
connections and he thought that his friends in high power would help him get out of this. To this day, Iqbal's brother and lawyer insist that he didn't kill anyone. They say that he constructed a narrative, planted the evidence and hoodwinked the investigators just to gain notoriety and publicity. Yeah, I don't know about that lah. That sounds a bit far-fetched, right? If anything, why
is.
would you
Why would you even
construct
like
this horrifying
yeah?
narrative?
Why would you do that and then like
boys.
and have evidence on yourself and then say, you know, it wasn't you? That makes no sense.
Episode. Let me know if you want me to discuss
Oh,
any other
that's a
story.
W episode. I'm gonna put the video down in the description below for y'all. Hope y'all enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out these videos.